Hello! Today we will be showing you how to replace the front glass on a Dell Chromebook 11. First, you will need a few tools to help with the replacement. For starters, you'll want to make sure to do the replacement on an anti-static mat to prevent electrostatic discharge, which can damage electronic parts. You will want to have a spudger, which will be a big help with the removal of the front glass. You should have a brush handy to aid with the disposal of small pieces of glass. You will need scissors. Any household pair should do. Be sure to have tweezers on hand. The last thing you will need will be double-sided tape, which will be necessary when securing the new glass. The first step will be to use your spudger to carefully pry off the hinge cover. The next step will be to use your spudger to remove the bezel and front glass from the top assembly. You will want to go around the entire perimeter of the bezel, carefully prying it apart. Next, you will remove the adhesive strips that are adhered to the perimeter of the bezel. The tweezers may be useful in peeling the strips up. Once you have removed the strips, you will now carefully pull the glass away from the bezel. This may take some time, but it is best to go slowly, not only to make sure that all the broken glass is removed, but also so you don't accidentally damage the bezel. Depending on the amount of damage to the glass, there is a possibility of many sharp broken pieces of glass. As always, when dealing with glass, be sure to be very careful. Once all the excess glass is removed, be sure to dispose of it before continuing with the process. Once you get as much of the glass off of the bezel as possible, use your spudger to pry up the adhesive tape all around the perimeter of the bezel. This can be a very time-consuming process, but it is necessary to make sure that all adhesive and glass is removed from the bezel before advancing in the glass replacement process. In the interest of time, we have skipped ahead through the glass and adhesive removal in this tutorial. If you are worried that you are doing something wrong because it is taking much longer, rest assured that it is completely normal. Use your brush to remove any and all glass and adhesive from your work area. Not only can it be a safety hazard, but small pieces of glass can be a problem if they accidentally come into contact with your replacement glass. The next step will be to neatly line the entire perimeter of the bezel with double-sided tape. Be sure not to go wider than the width of the bezel with the tape. For the thin section at the bottom of the bezel, it may be necessary to cut the tape long ways to make sure it is thin enough to not hang over the sides. The next step will be to remove the thin layer of plastic from the double-sided tape, exposing the adhesive all the way around, which will prepare it for affixing the new glass. Once all the adhesive on the double-sided tape is exposed, the next step will be to carefully line up your new glass and adhere it to the bezel. The next step will be to snap the bezel back onto the top assembly. Be sure that no dust or any other debris gets caught between the bezel and the top assembly. The final step will be to snap the hinge cover back into place. You have now successfully replaced the front glass in your Dell Chromebook 11. Good job.